What's up, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So, giving you guys a update on the Kawhi Leonard injury. It's the left abductor strain. It's in the groin area. It's usually one of those type of injuries where it's kind of like a little complex. It can linger, but also, if it's like at a grade 1 type situation, it could last about a week or two. And, of a little bit of rest, you can come back and, play at your regular strength. So, at this point, we hope that Kawhi is at a grade 1 with it. From what I'm hearing, that's what it is. But I mean, I can't say 100% for sure. But he was out Wednesday versus the Warriors, in which the Clippers came back from like 14-15 down, which was a, big outing for them because, even without, their star player, it just shows how much depth they have, as a team and as a whole, and how much dangerous or how much more dangerous they might be by the time playoffs come, because they'll be even more locked in than what they are now during the regular season. So, and it was against the Warriors team, but still, the Clippers definitely showed a lot of fight and came back and got a huge victory. I think that builds their confidence and their momentum going forward as a team. Even though Ty Lue got ejected and Kawhi was out, they still found a way to win. And, Paul George, played not that great, and, they still found a way to win. It doesn't matter. Win is a win. That's all we care about, is getting wins. So whoever plays great, who doesn't, what I'm saying? Of course, you want everybody there, but the main thing is the Clippers found a way to come out with the victory. But either way, Kawhi's injury, it's said to be minor, not really that major. We hope that it stays that way. Usually, like I said, it takes about a week or 2 weeks, give or take, with a little bit of rest. You can come back. So it actually kind of, it's a gift and a curse, because it's not good that, he won't, be in the All-Star game or anything like that. But it kind of came at a decent time, really, because, they're going to have a few days off with the All-Star weekend. And their next game, I think, is against OKC, which I think that will happen, I believe, the 22nd of this month. They have a few days off and stuff like that from the All-Star break and things, for the Clippers. So I think that'll actually, bode well for Kawhi, because it gives them a few days of rest without even the team playing. The team could rest also, because other guys on there got injuries as well. It's just not noted as much because they're not like Kawhi Leonard. They're not big of a name as he is. You know what I'm saying? Plus, Paul George is still dealing with the injury himself. He's kind of played through it a little bit, but you've seen, the ailing of his game as well because of the injury. But I mean, for the most part, Kawhi and PG, I give them the most credit. They've been playing, through a lot of injury. Well, maybe not a lot of injuries, but they've been playing a lot of games this year, and they've probably had some injuries and stuff, of course, been played through it, and I think that's definitely needs to be noted for them to do something like that, because I think the notion on them throughout the years was they're injury prone and they're all about load management, especially Kawhi Leonard. So you definitely got to give them credit there. But I definitely think this is a mild type injury, though, from what I'm hearing from my sources and people around me. So, I mean, we're going to keep it there, and hopefully Kawhi be back. Maybe not that OKC game, but maybe like the game after that is what I'm thinking. Maybe the night after, a couple nights after, Kawhi might be able to make a return and get back on the floor so they can keep building this chemistry, because, as Kawhi said, you got to be playing your best basketball down the stretch of the latter half of the season when it gets real, into the playoffs, and time to really perform at the highest level. So we definitely want to see Kawhi out there, of course, and whatever precaution they need to take to do that, then we're okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because of Kawhi, when he's on the floor, your chances of winning is very great. And I can tell you, even though, you look at other teams at the top of the West, the OKC Thunder and the Timberwolves, they're really good teams. They definitely play the Clippers well. They definitely can give the Clippers a run. But I can tell you this much: with Kawhi Leonard being healthy and playing at his best down the stretch going into the playoffs, that playoff Kawhi is going to turn it up a notch. And if he does, I'm really interested to see what those other two teams really will look like when they have to play an active Kawhi, playoff Kawhi. That's going to be a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you look at the last game when the Clippers played the Timberwolves, Norman Powell didn't play well, probably because of the injury that he had prior to that. But even still, no excuses. He didn't play well also. So the fact that he didn't play well in that game, he's going to be the X factor in a lot of their series when they go into the playoffs. And, when they try to make this run, he's definitely going to be the X factor. And he definitely, I believe, will be the unsung hero for this team, as he's been all year. So I think everything will be fine with this team, especially with Kawhi Leonard. Of course, if anything new comes, I'll give you guys, any updates or anything anything like that. But as I said before, I think Kawhi is fine. Just a little bit of rest. And, not too much strain on that muscle down there will, definitely propel him forward, and he'll be able to, perform at a high level when he comes back, because they're definitely going to need him, because I think the Clippers, ultimately, their goal, of course, is to make a run in the playoffs. But ultimately, the fact that they're taking the regular season serious, they would like to be able to grab that number one spot, especially since they're so close. I mean, they're like half a game out from it. So, I mean, if somebody loses, they're in the number one spot. If they win, they're in the number one spot. If they lose a game, they'll fall to number 2 or 3. So, I mean, they're right there. So, I mean, there's no need not to try to go for it if you can, and, secure your spot and maybe play a team, that the 6, 7 seed going into the playoffs, where, a team that you might be able to have a little bit of advantage over, and rest up a little bit. Possibly if you sweep them, go 4-1, possibly, not saying it'll be that way, but if you go 4-1 or sweep them or something like that, take it to the house for a couple of days and wait on your next opponent, being the number 1 seed, having that home court advantage, that's definitely a good thing. So I definitely believe the Clippers will take that. So, but as far as everything else with Kawhi, I believe it's going as expected. He'll get the rest that he needs. Hopefully he'll come back, and, Clippers will be right back on track to play at the highest level.